You are Locked On Dodgers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, another lackluster performance at the plate from the Dodgers. Hi, and welcome to the Locked On Dodgers Postcast. I am Pete Fox on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel. I've been covering sports in LA since 2007 for ESPN and NBC Sports Radio. Today's episode of the Dodgers Postcast is brought to you by eBay Motors. From brakes to exhaust kits and beyond, eBay Motors has over 122 million parts to keep your ride or die alive. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to bring home that big win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay guaranteed fit. Only available to U.S. customers. Well, the Dodgers basically stunk up the joint at the plate tonight, and I think I have figured out what their problem is. I have put together a very extensive study and come up with a very logical conclusion as to what's going on with the Dodgers. They are not good right after travel. They need to be comfortable and rested, they were off yesterday, so they should be rested. Maybe it's just the, acclimation sort of thing. They need to be set, comfortable. If you play them right after they have traveled somewhere, you're going to win. They're not going to be able to do anything because they're not always great after off days. They're usually not great after traveling, and they're especially not great when they have to sit on the tarmac for extended hours. Is my hat crooked or is that my imagination? Okay, yeah, now that's better. God, driving me crazy. Tonight, the middle of the lineup was not good. The top of the lineup was okay, and the bottom of the lineup was, I guess, not good. 1 hit in the bottom, 3 hits at the top, 2 for Freddie, 1 for Shohei, which was pretty spectacular. But Shohei Ohtani is still not in a good spot right now. He's way off. And Mookie Betts can't find it either. His batting average is plummeting like a hot air balloon without that thing that makes the hot air. Will Smith, 1 for 2. Teo, 0 for. He had Steven Nelson think that he hit one out to give the Dodgers the lead. He got jobbed on that one. Thought for sure that one was gone, but it was not. Ended up being a fly ball out. Pajas came in, struck out. Surprise, surprise. Because he wasn't trying to put the ball in play. He was trying to hit a home run. And Aroldis Chapman, still a pretty good pitcher. That's not a name that I've heard in a long time. I was completely stunned to see Aroldis Chapman pitching for the Pittsburgh Pirates. That was kind of surprising. And I was like, well, his first pitch was off speed. He threw it up there like 85. And I'm like, this is not the same Aroldis Chapman that I used to know. Because I didn't think that was his fastball by any stretch, but I'm like, usually Aroldis Chapman comes in and is triple digits right off the bat. So he did hit triple digits a couple of times and ultimately struck out Andy Pajas on a very good pitch. It was a very tactfully executed pitch because Pajas couldn't keep up with it. It was up and out and tailing, and Pajas was baffled. Funny thing from Nando, the Dodger broadcaster thinks every ball hit is a home run. You don't like Steven Nelson? I think he's all right. You guys are hardcore. Dodgers definitely averaging 1 run per game in October. Yeah, I look at this game and I say, this is not what we like to see on the road off of a day off when the pitching is pretty damn good. I don't know. I guess I'm a little shy of the word stellar, but it was by all means good enough to win. Glasnow was very good. Only walked 2, struck out 9. Really, the pitch that he threw for the home run to, what was that guy's name? Suwinski, who they have dubbed the Dodger Killer because he's hit a ton of home runs against the Dodgers. Just got called up a few days ago. So probably for this reason, it was a fastball up in the zone. And it was surprising to me because the pitches that Glasnow had been using to strike people out, I've been keeping track of this, like what's the hammer, what's the strikeout pitch, all of them except for two of the 9 were off-speed breaking stuff. Slider, curve, slider, four-seam, slider, curve, four-seam. So up until that point, it had all been off-speed. The curveball was pretty sharp. I mean, that curveball he threw for the 8K was pretty wicked. And I was like, I know that was well after the home run, but to me, if it's working, why go away from it? It doesn't seem to make any sense other than, if you're deep in a count and you're trying to outsmart somebody, second guess them, if you've thrown nothing but off speed with 2 strikes, they could be expecting it. But that guy, Suwinski, was a really nice piece of hitting. The ball was kind of up. I mean, it was a fastball right in the zone, but it was a little bit up and in, and he got through it, pulled his hands through, and just scorched it. I mean, high fastball. That's one of the easiest balls to hit out, right up there with a changeup that doesn't break any. So it was a nice piece of hitting, and I guess ultimately, that's all they needed. They deserve this win. The Dodgers 0 for 12. I have 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. I guess I missed one. 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position. So when I see that, I go, the thing that pops into my head is that's not the kind of thing that a winning team does. And when we get into the postseason, knock on wood, they do make it. I'm assuming that's a foregone conclusion, but you just never know. You can't leave that many runners on base in scoring position. The pitching can only do so much. So if I ultimately at this time of year, I guess if we're going to complain, I would much rather have the pitching be locked in and producing on a nightly basis and the hitting struggling, because I feel like that can happen overnight in the middle of a game. It's something that you can turn on very quickly in the blink of an eye, especially these guys in high leverage positions in the postseason when it really matters. I mean, look at Freddie. Freddie Freeman was awful about a week ago. And, I was calling for time off. This guy's overworked. He's swinging at bad pitches. He just doesn't seem locked in. He doesn't seem like he's having any fun. And here we are. Freddie Freeman has just been lighting it up over the last 6 games. A 1291 OPS for Freddie Freeman over the last 6 games and continues to dazzle with the glove. Diving stop on the first was fantastic. Without a doubt, Freddie Freeman, player of the game tonight. He was great, but wasn't great enough because he didn't get a clutch hit when they had a runner on scoring position, and he definitely had his opportunities as well. You guys all think it's Chris Taylor's fault? I don't know about that. I was rooting for Chris Taylor so hard to get a base hit because I think there was second and third. Yeah. Let's go through that at bat after the break. I took details of a Chris Taylor at bat with runners on second and third. And I was just, come on, please put one in play. Give everyone something to root for and get off of your back. But that was not to be. I am Pete Fox. This is the Locked On Dodgers postcast. After a day off, they get the series in Pittsburgh at PNC underway against Yin's Pirates. I still don't know what that means, but that's what they say in Pittsburgh. Yin's. I think it's like y'all or you guys or something. Anyway, Yin's Pirates edge the Dodgers 1-0 to get this series off on the wrong foot. Thanks for watching us here on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done, and listening on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. All right, tonight's episode of the Locked On Dodgers postcast brought to you by FanDuel. It is winner take all time in the NBA and the NHL. The Stanley Cup final ready to go, and the NBA finals underway on Thursday. And FanDuel is giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. Right now, new customers to FanDuel get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and a whole lot more. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. All right, Dodgers edged by the Buccos in Pittsburgh, 1-0. I've always been a fan of the Pittsburgh Pirates uniforms, and tonight they had the black and yellow on, somewhat reminiscent of the We Are Family, because when Willie Stargell and Dave Parker and Kent Tekulve won the World Series in the late 70s, I was like 10 years old. And I was rooting for that. I absolutely loved those uniforms when they were the all yellow or the black and yellow or the all black. And they have what they called stovepipe hats with the 3 rings around them. Coolest hat ever. I used to wear it high school baseball practice, and I wore it to college baseball practice until my coach like called me out in front of the whole team. And he was like, "What are you doing wearing that hat?" And this is like, what year would that have been? 1989, 90. He's like, "The Pirates haven't worn those in a decade." So I never wore it again, sadly, and I don't have it any longer. I think I got rid of it, but I'm sure this day and age with like eBay and Amazon, I'm sure we could find it if I really wanted to. But I've always loved those hats, especially the yellow one with the black bill. I had the black with the black circles. I'm sorry, the yellow circles. But the yellow one with the black brim was my favorite. And you know what? I think I'm going to find one of those. I'm going to take it back to 1978. We are family. Anyway, here's the Chris Taylor at bat that just pissed me off. Runners on second and third. The count was 2-0. Now, for those of you that know even a little bit about baseball, you know that is a hitter's count. Generally speaking, you can assume fairly safely that the pitcher does not want to go 3-0 and is going to probably be somewhere around the zone. Sure enough, whoever was on the mound at that point threw a strike right down the middle. And guess what Chris Taylor did? Watched it for a strike. Like, come on, dude. That's the reason you're batting 108 or whatever it is now after an 0 for 4. 103. You got to know that stuff. That's common, simple, basic baseball. 2-0 count. Probably going to throw me a fastball. I should shorten up and put this ball in play because there are runners on second and third. It was right down Main Street. Piped. And then he popped out. Oh, it's frustrating for sure. Over 12 with runners in scoring position. The Dodgers, the bucket list, also known as the Diamond Dogs list. Surprised I said that because I've been watching season 3 of Ted Lasso. Last night, the Diamond Dogs were heavily featured in the episode I watched. Here's the Diamond Dogs list for today. Number 5, Will Smith, a 2-out double in the first inning, set up second and third. Left him there. Number 4, Freddie Freeman, 2-out double in the third. So they were hitting with 2 outs, and that's nice to see. But when there's nobody on base, it's like too little, too late kind of a thing. It was a nice piece of hitting by Freddie Freeman, left center field there for that double. Number 3, Gavin Lux, leadoff double in the 7th. So from the 3rd to the 7th, Dodgers had pretty much nothing going on. Number 2, Ohtani with a leadoff single in the 8th, digging it out of the dirt. That was a really nice piece of hitting. I mean, that ball was about 6 inches off the ground, and he stroked it into center field. And for number 1, let's give it to Miggy Rojas with that barehanded play in the 3rd inning, or a barehanded play in the 2nd inning at third base. It was a really tough play, and he made it look very, very simple. So there's your top 5 plays of the night. Yang Yi has a very, very opinionated point here. Freeman, please don't sign any more DFA players, but go all in for the top tier players. Lux, C3, Kike, and maybe Barnes should be gone sooner than later. Current Dodgers offense will not win the World Series. I don't know if I could say that. I don't know if I can agree with you there, Yang or Yi. The 7, 8, 9 in the lineup, batting .373 over the last 6 games. So we know that they're capable of doing it. They have a over 900 OPS over the last 6 games. save tonight where they had just one hit. We know they're capable of being ice cold. So we know they're capable of doing it as well because they've been doing it. It's definitely possible. Will Smith has been pretty hot of late, especially against left-handed hitters. 415 with a 1285 OPS versus lefties. So that's going to continue. Didn't get a clutch hit tonight. But again, I blame that on the travel. They are not good right after a travel day. Top of the lineup, struggling a little bit. Ohtani can't really find it, although he had a nice base hit in the eighth inning tonight. But we're used to seeing at least 2 hits from Ohtani and on base 3 times tonight because he can usually squeeze a walk out of somebody. Mookie Betts being over, did get on base with a walk, average down to 314. Freddie Freeman hitting the ball again. That's nice to see again. 1291 OPS over his last 6 games. So if they can get the top 3 guys, or if they could get 6 of the 9 guys hitting in any given day, that's really all you need, especially if you got a pitching staff like the Dodgers do. Craig's suggestion from the comments is, why not mix up the lineup to shake things up? I've been saying that since the first week, Craig. Everyone gets mad at me when I bring that up and yells at me because, you know, Mookie Betts is a very, very talented leadoff hitter. Shohei Ohtani can get hot in a second. Freddie Freeman batting third is working out most of the time. But look at it. Like, we got 162 of these things. Dodgers are 38-24, 17-12 on the road. What would it hurt to mix it up? Here's the answer according to Tokada DJ. They can't mix it up because Betts and Freeman would protest. Fair point. I don't know that to be sure, but it's fair that they would have a problem. Ohtani would probably be flexible. I don't know. Betts and Freeman are pretty easygoing guys. That's an interesting question. I would love to find out more about that. Would they have an issue if they mixed it up, moved the lineup around? You know, you could move it around and benefit, like put Freddie fourth and put Will Smith first and put Mookie second and move Shohei to fifth. I don't think anybody would be too ticked off about that if you did that for a couple of games. You know, it doesn't seem like, ultimately, what are we doing? We're just trying things out here. Players and teams and baseball is considerably less rigid nowadays than it used to be a long time ago, right? A long time ago in the 70s and 80s, if you were a first baseman, you played first base, right? If you were a shortstop or a second baseman or an outfielder, you pretty much played outfield, and only really one position in the outfield. But this day and age, they move people around. Look at Mookie Betts. He's an outfielder. Now you're a shortstop, second baseman, whatever. You know, Kike Hernandez can play basically 8 positions. I bet you if they threw him out on the mound, he could get a couple of guys out. Chris Taylor can play infield and outfield. I bet Jay Hay could play first base. Will Smith definitely can play around the diamond if need be. But right now he's a catcher, and that's where they're going to keep him. So moving guys around is not going to be a problem. Especially in the field. At the plate, I don't know what it would hurt. It would give these guys an opportunity to just try something different. This repetitive lack of production at the plate from a team that we expect to win, not every game, because that's ridiculous to think that, but almost, we expect this team to win 4 out of 5 pretty regularly. And not just against crappy teams like the Mets and the Rockies, right? It's got to be against good teams. Pirates they're okay, 28-32 after the win, 13-15. Not great. I mean, maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's the lack of interest is based on who they're playing. When's the next time the Dodgers play somebody good? The Yankees are right around the corner, so that'll be a real test for them. I think that will show us, give us a nice measuring stick as to where the Dodgers are, because of late they haven't really played anybody good. Even though they lost to the Reds, got swept in Cincinnati. I mean, let's look. Who have they played good? And maybe that's a big part of it. The Padres are really the last good team, and the Padres are a 500 team at best. Marlins before that are garbage. The Giants were hot for a while. They've gone back to garbage. They've won 4 of 10 after winning 8 or 9 in a row. Then the Reds, sub 500. Diamondbacks, bad. Reds are bad. Mets are bad. Rockies are bad. Pirates are bad. You know, the Dodgers need a real test to kind of maybe wake them up, open their eyes and say, hey, we're not good enough right now. So that's coming right around the corner. We got 2 more against Pittsburgh, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the Bronx against the Yankees. That's a real test. And then right after that, back at the Ravine against the Texas Rangers, who are the former world champions, but sub 500 right now. 29-31. So that this test against the Yankees will tell us a lot. I will be unfortunately watching from afar because I'll be on vacation starting tomorrow. So I apologize that I will not be with you for the next 10 days or so. But Jeff from Locked On Dodgers is going to be filling in for the Yankee series and the Texas series. So you will have Locked On Dodgers postcast for sure. We'll take the final break, come back and wrap it up. Dodgers lose 1-0, going 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position. This was the Dodgers at the plate tonight with runners on base. There was just nothing. Completely sound asleep. They were barely snoring. They were so sound asleep. All right. This is the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel. And you can listen to us wherever you find your podcasts on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. All right. Tonight's show also brought to you by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is good for a lot of different things. If you're into taking care of your car, if you're into saving money, eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance, from superchargers to roof racks. I've purchased one of those on eBay. Exhaust kits. Haven't done that because I don't know how to weld. If I did know how to weld, I would absolutely buy some exhaust kits just to piss off my wife. She hates loud cars. On my Ford Expedition, where I put the roof rack, I at one point went out and put on a big loud muffler because it was just, it was throaty. Like, oh my God. She hated that so much. She was like, I will not ride in that car. LED headlights, bought those, and a whole lot more. I buy brakes frequently at eBay Motors. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered with over 122 million parts. For your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay's guaranteed fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time, or you get your money back. And they also will save your car's info, so you don't have to enter it in every time. You say, is this for the 1999 Honda Accord or whatever? And there you go. eBay Motors has got you burning rubber, not cash, with all the parts you need at the prices you want. It's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay's guaranteed fit is only available to U.S. customers. Dodgers fall, edged on a home run by Schweikert to fall in Pittsburgh at PNC 1-0. The thing that's frustrating to me about this is when the pitching is good and you can't even produce one run. That is, among the most frustrating things there is. I don't know what else, they could do. They got clutch hits, plenty of them. I'm sorry. They got hits, no clutch hits. Here's a positive take. Like it from the LA Pro Sports Fan. Jones is solid. Wouldn't worry about this one. Let's get him tomorrow. There you go. Give credit to the Pittsburgh Pirates. That guy did. He threw a good game. Let's see what were his numbers. Let's look at Jones's line. Yeah, he had him baffled for the most part. His 4th win versus 5 losses. Wow, he went 6, just 3 hits, walked 3, gave up no runs on 3 hits, striking out 6. Holderman, 1 hit. Chapman, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 2 Ks. And Bednar, 1 inning, 0s. So he came in and slammed the door right in the Dodgers' face. So tough loss, but hopefully it's an eye-opening loss. Hopefully Dodgers take something from this and build on it. Is that true, Craig? Craig is pointing out the fact that the Pirates only, 4 hits. The Dodgers out hit them 5 hits to 4. Really? I mean, this is a frustrating loss. I don't know about you guys, but I've never been a huge fan of pitching duels. I've witnessed 2 no-hitters, one from Kershaw and one from, what the hell is that guy's name for the Angels? Jared Weaver. And now that is exciting. That is edge of your seat, nail biting fun, right? Unless it's being done to you. When you're witnessing it and it's the team you're rooting for, then it's cool. That's the only time I like no offensive production. I am more in favor of offensive production, but I know that it's much harder to win games at the plate than it is on the mound. If you can limit the opposition on the mound, your life is going to be considerably easier. So I think what we take away from this game was, hey, let's just use the excuse train for a second. Travel day, not really an off day. Dodgers have not been good coming off of travel, whether it's home or on the road. And I don't know how you fix that. It's just part of life. I don't know if anybody else has pointed that out to them yet, but the fact is that that's part of what they're dealing with right now. And that keeps the bats silent. So this would have been a tough one if the Dodgers got, roughed up 5-6-0, giving up multiple home runs and a bunch of hits, but the Dodgers pitched well. And I think that's what we take away from this game. Say, look, traveling, and we haven't been good after that. So there's our excuse for those of you who need one. Good news, they pitched well. Glasnow pitched great, according to the LA Sports Fan. 104 Ks, 23 walks. Lucky we have him. Yeah, look, this pitching staff is for real. The real deal. As much as I am not head over heels in love with Yoshinobu Yamamoto yet, I can't argue that he has been very, very consistent. One of our regular viewers was like, you're crazy. He's been the most consistent guy on the Dodgers pitching staff. Fair point. I haven't compared and contrasted the numbers, but Yamamoto has been very good, right? The Dodgers starters right now are very good. And Bobby Miller's right around the corner. Clayton Kershaw's right around the corner. Not that we know if he's going to start. He might be like an opener for the Dodgers, like a 3-inning opener. Landon Nako, they optioned, was good. So the Dodgers pitching staff is top notch right now. As I mentioned a couple of days ago, their defense best in the league percentage wise. So that's also great. There's not a lot to complain about. That they're hitting right now is a little bit less than what we all expect. And let's be fair, our expectations are over the moon, right? So with Glasnow, Yamamoto, Gavin Stone, you could argue that he deserves to be a number 2, right? I don't know who the number 1 is right now. I guess it's Glasnow. 80 innings. Best ERA on the team, 2.93. Yamamoto's 3.32. Actually, Stone's ERA is a little better, 2.9, but his whip's higher, 1.19. Paxton has been very good too. So all 4 of those guys go out and get the job done. Vessia's been good. Grove's been good. Yarborough's been good. Hudson's been good. Walker Buehler's the one that we're kind of scratching our head about, wondering if he is going to return to form. Not quite there yet. So the pitching staff, Yohan Ramirez again came out and took care of business. Pitching is everything. You are correct. And I think that's where we leave it for tonight. We feel like we lost. We did lose, but let's feel like we won because the pitching staff took care of business. All right. Again, I will miss you guys, but I'm going to be out of the country. We are going on a European vacation and it's going to be fun. And sadly, I will not be able to do the postcast for the next 10 days or so. And thank you, Craig, for wishing me a good vacation. I appreciate that. as I said, we will have no more postcasts for the rest of this series, but over the weekend, Jeff from Locked On Dodgers is going to do Yankees. And then right after that, there'll be an off day and then three games at the Ravine with the Rangers, and Jeff will wrap those up for you here on the Locked On Dodgers postcast. I'll miss you guys. I'll be back the 18th of June for the Rockies, and we will talk then. Enjoy your time without me. I will enjoy my time without you. Nothing personal. Dodgers fall 1-0, losing to the Bucks in Pittsburgh at PNC. A home run was their undoing, but I see and feel like tomorrow will be a different day because there's no travel tonight. All right. Thanks again for joining me. Have a good night. We will talk in about 10 days. Take care.